Okay. You're out there on the internet, you're searching for a better way to make a second income because you're over 55, you're struggling financially, and you're worried because you don't want to be a burden to your kids or your grandkids in the future if you can't pay your bills. And you you know that you don't want to be a burden. I mean, that's your responsibility is to take care of yourself and not have your kids or your grandkids have to take care of you in the future. So you've been searching online, day in and day out, and you see that people are out there making that second income, and you're wondering how they're doing it. And you're reading and you're doing all kinds of things to try to figure it out. And you're wondering, is it too late for me? Should I get started now? I mean, what do I do? How do I learn what they're doing? I mean, all these questions are coming in your mind and you're praying about it too. And you're praying, dear Lord, help me figure this out. Help me find a way to make a second income because I don't want to be a burden to my kids or my grandkids. I mean, this is so important to me. And so you're out there searching just like I was. And I found a way to make that second income. And I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to make money out there on the internet. Okay. And then there's ways that people are saying, hey, that they act like it's easy. It's not easy. It's work, but it's worth it. And you can do it. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you've got tech skills or not. You can learn it. And I knew I'm 58 years young, and I knew that I was going to have to learn some skills to be able to do whatever it is they were doing. So when I went out there and I found out that they were doing digital marketing, that was one of the ways that they were making an extra income. They were doing digital marketing. And I was like, okay, well, if that's one of the ways they're doing it, and I don't have to, keep supplies in my house and mail stuff out and things like that, then that's what I want to do. I didn't want to have to house different things, and I didn't want to have to sell, little pieces of clothing and all of that out there online. Because I knew that wasn't going to generate the income that I needed. And basically, I retired at 57, and now, after a year, I was needing a substantial income because some life changes happened. And here I was. I thought had set myself up, and things happened. And then I was starting to dip into my savings to make ends meet. And I knew my savings wasn't going to last me until I got into my mid-60s and could get my other retirement income. So I had to do something now. I couldn't wait any longer. And I don't want to be a burden to my family later on in life. So I was like, Jenifer, you've got to get on the ball and you've got to figure it out now. And anytime we go out there and we want to earn an income, it's not, there's no such thing as overnight success usually, unless you play the lottery and you're fortunate enough to win it. Other than that, we've got to work for the money that we earn. That's the American way. You've got to work for it to earn it. So anyway, I went out there online. I started doing research into the different ways to make money online where I didn't have to have, like I said, house anything, keep supplies in my house and mail out different items. And I figured out the best way was digital marketing. But I had to learn it. So in order to learn it, I knew that I had to get a training. And that's what I did. I started praying and started searching for, digital marketing training. I had to get educated. And that's a lot of the reasons people get on the internet every day is to get educated. So when I looked out there, I come across a video that was similar to what I'm making now. And a lady was in her mid-50s, and she was wanting to make a second income because she hadn't set herself up for retirement. And she was saying how she came across a training to learn digital marketing. and she only had to put in 2 hours a day doing it. So she knew that she was already doing a 9 to 5 job, and she thought, well, I'm already doing an 8-hour day, but I can figure out a way to put 2 more hours in, start supplementing and saving up so I have a retirement income. And when I listened to her and how, I was like, well, she's my age and she's doing this, and, then I can learn it too. And so she said, that this training that she found was beginner friendly. Okay, it was beginner friendly. And I thought, well, that's great, because I don't really know about digital marketing or how to make money online. So the one thing that it was beginner friendly. And I thought, man, that's great. And so I thought, well, that's me. I'm a beginner at it. She said that you're going to learn new skills. And I thought, okay, well, I'm ready to learn new skills. That I only had to put in 2 hours a day to get the job done. And I thought, that is wonderful. 2 hours a day, I can still feel retired. And I can make that second income. She said I had to have a Wi-Fi connection, some type of internet connection, and I had to have a smartphone. And I was like, great, well, I've already got a Wi-Fi internet connection and I've got a smartphone. So she said, basically, these two things is all we needed to get started. And I saw, well, this is wonderful. If that's all it takes to get started, then I've got those two things. I am a beginner. I'm willing to learn new skills. And if I can get to a 2-hour workday, that'd be great once I started learning it. So I knew that was the training that I wanted to do, because I would be able to work at my own pace. It was beginner friendly, so I could take the time I needed to learn it. And so that's when I decided that this was it. This is the training for me. So I invested in the training and in myself. And so, yes, there is an investment, but you know that already. You know that nothing out there is free. And if they're saying that they're going to show you something and you don't have to do anything, you don't have to pay any money to learn whatever it is they're going to show you, then that's not legitimate. Everybody out there is making money on the internet for, and they're educating you, but they're selling that education. Okay. And so I knew I had to invest, and I was okay with that, because I wanted a legitimate, proven method. And the training that I found was proven to work. It was a proven method. And I thought, okay, well, that's what I want. I want a proven method. And I did my due diligence. I did the research. I double checked the training, the founder of the training itself and everything. And it was all backed by the Better Business Bureau to be a method, a true method that would work on, that people can actually learn how to do it. And if they implement it, then you can make money doing it. And that's digital marketing itself. You're doing digital marketing to make the income, but you're investing in a training to learn what is digital marketing and how do you do it and how do you implement it and where out there on the internet do you put it to make an income from it. So that's why I decided this training was for me, because there was already thousands of people doing it and making money. And I thought, okay, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And you might be saying, well, Jenifer, if there's thousands of people doing it, is it too saturated out there already? Well, it's not. I mean, that's like saying the universities that are teaching all these students, how to become doctors, lawyers, teachers, social workers, engineers, you name it, that they're too saturated. Why don't they just close down? Because there's too many of them out there. There's too many universities. but that's not the case. People are always, coming and going. And the internet, you got to think of the internet as a big, 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 big city out there. It has 5+ billion people getting on it every day. 5+ billion people around the world get on the internet every day. Okay. So all of these people are getting on there, are looking for different ways. They might be looking to earn money. They're looking to get educated. They're looking for entertainment. They're looking for a university online so they can work, go to school on their own pace and at their own time frame. So there's all kinds of people out there looking for different things. So there's plenty of room for all of us out there to make a substantial income online, but we just have to be willing to learn how, and to be willing to pay for a good training and a legitimate training. And that's what I did, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm learning and earning while I am implementing these different content videos. So that's what you can do too. You're not too old, you're not too late. But if you wait until you're totally out of money and you're having to ask your son or your daughter, to loan you money to make your rent or to pay your mortgage, then you're what's it costing you? It's costing you your independence and everything. And you don't want to do that, and you don't want to burden your children with that responsibility. So you have to get out there and you have to start learning now so that you don't get in that position. And that's what I did. I didn't want to wait till I was out of my savings. I wanted to start because it takes time to implement everything and to learn and put things out there. And so those are the criteria for the training. You have to be coachable. All right. You have to be willing to learn new skills. You have to be willing to make content, and that's what I'm doing by being live right now on YouTube. I'm live. So if you've joined me right now, tell me where you're from and say something in the chat. And if you have any questions, I'll answer your questions. But thank you for joining. Okay, you've got to be willing to make content. You have to be willing to implement what you've learned. And you have to be consistent at putting it out there. Okay. All right. So we're learning how to use social media. Social media, different platforms to put content out on the internet and to make an extra income. So if you already are used to social media because you've joined Facebook when it first came out, then you're a step ahead of me. I didn't ever do any social media. So that's why I was glad it was beginner friendly, this training that I invested in, because I didn't use social media. But if you have been using Facebook or Instagram, even TikTok, I know you probably think, well, TikTok's just for the young kids. But now it's a business avenue. There are people do advertisements on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. If you've been using LinkedIn in your daily work, then you can also use LinkedIn to make an extra income. Pinterest can already, they're all going to this platform, business platforms now. They're not just social media platforms. So if you've already been using these platforms to socialize through, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anything like that, then you're ahead of me, because this is what they're using to promote businesses and education and all of that out there on the internet. So you're a step ahead. And all you have to do is learn through the training how to put content out there on these different platforms to have it generate you an income. And that's what they're doing out there. So I thought, well, I mean, I'm glad it's beginner friendly because I'm learning and I can what they call learn and earn at the same time. And what that means is while you're learning how the different income streams, okay, there's different ways, and they call them income streams, to utilize the internet to make extra money through digital marketing. Okay. So there's multiple ways. I mean, the sky's the limit out there. There's all, affiliate marketing, there's digital marketing, there's monetizing, there's coaching, there's making educational how-to videos, there's making content and putting it out there and getting people to follow your content. There is using your passion. Say you've got a passion for baking. You've seen those reels out there and those short videos on Instagram and all where people are baking something and they're in the kitchen. They've got their video camera or their smartphone and they're videotaping what they're making. Well, they're doing that to make money on the internet. So you can use your passion, whatever it is, to earn an income. And those are different income streams. Excuse me. So while you're learning the process of digital marketing and all these different income streams, the founder of this training allows us to sell the training while we're at it, while we're learning. And that's how we call it learning and earning. So we can be learning and also sell the training itself. And there's different levels of the training. So the training can cost you anywhere from $100. There's a $300, a $600, a $900 investment, and a $1,400. Okay. And that, I mean, even at $1,400, it's well worth it because you're learning all the aspects of different income streams. Like, I mean, there's over 10, 15, 20 different income streams plus that you're going to learn by purchasing the $1,400 level. But the founder knew that, there's some people that might be able to afford the $1,400 all at once. So there's different levels. And so each level has more income streams that you can learn how to do. When you get up to the $1,400, you're going to learn everything. Okay. But so you're going to invest in the training to get a legitimate training. But once you invest, it's a one-time investment. Okay. There's no hidden fees. And there's no subscriptions. Okay. So once you invest, you're done. Okay. And then the training process, once you get set up, they're going to help you set up your website, your emails. You're going to get a professional website. Now there are fees other than the training for the getting the website set up and everything, because you got to pay for a domain and everything. But it's like a one-time annual fee. But the training itself, if you purchase the $900 level, okay, say that you purchase that $900 level, and you're out there making content, and everybody's saying, "Hey, how are you doing that?" And you explain the training. Oh, well, I'm learning this training, on digital marketing. They're like, well, I want to do that too. Well, if they go on and you sell them the training at $900, then you've already made your money back by selling one customer a training. Okay. And then say, for instance, you're out there, you're putting your content, you've put your content out there on Facebook, and they're like, man, Susie, what are you doing? I see you've got this content out there, I used to just see you socializing, but now it looks like you're doing something different. You're going, oh yeah, well, I'm learning digital marketing and I'm making money online. And they're like, well, how did you learn that? You're going, well, I learned it through this training. Are you interested? And then you send them the information. If they purchase the training at $900, then you've made another sell. So just think, if you can sell 4 people a month, 1 a week, then you've made $3,600 in a month. And that's how you're going to solve your financial problems, is by earning an income. And you can start out by selling the training. And then if you get, you make your money back, say you make your $900 back, and you go, well, I really don't want to sell the training. You don't have to keep selling the training. You can do something else because you're learning it. You've already invested. You're learning the other income streams, but you only bought the $900, and you're going, okay, well, I've already made my $900. So I want that $1,400 because I want to learn all the different income streams that are out there. Because I want, to be able to diversify my earning capacity. Okay. So you buy the 14. Well, all you have to do is pay the $500 difference. You don't have to pay another $1,400 on top of the 9. You just pay the difference, and then you've got the $1,400 level. But guess what? Now you're selling your trainings, and say that you sell a $1,400. Well, you just had a $1,400 day selling the training. Now, if you were at the $900 level and you sold a $1,400 one, you would only get the $900. Okay, so you only make the amount that you've invested. Okay, but if you're up here at the very top at the $1,400 level, you can sell any one of these and make that amount of money. I mean, and it's automatically going into your bank. You're not having to go do anything. It's automated, and it's going into your bank account. They're just asking you for the information. You're out there, you're using your Facebook platform or whatever social media platform. You're learning how to put content out there. So you're putting content and say that you're putting content and it has nothing to do with the training. It's okay. Someone's going to ask you, well, how did you know how to make that content that you're putting out there to do blah, blah, blah? And you're going to go, well, I invested in this training. And they're going to go, well, I want that training too. Well, then you go, okay, well, here's the information. You give it to them, and they go in and purchase the training. Well, guess what? You're going to make the money anyways, whether you wanted to sell it or not, because you gave them the link to get that training, and it's attached to you. So that's how you're going to start making income right away. As soon as you get set up and everything, that you can start making income, and it's called earning and learning. And you've got to think, if you don't want to be a burden to your family and financial burden, and them having to bail you out and help you pay your mortgage or your rent or whatever, then you have to start making an income. And the best way to make a substantial income is on the internet. Because if you go back to a 9-to-5 job, if you've left it like I did, then they're only going to pay us about $20 an hour. And I just say 20 because that's just a good round number. So that's $160 a day. Well, I know if I sell one training a day, I can make $1,400 in a day. So if I sell, 4 trainings in a month, I've made $5,600 in a month. Well, that will help me start putting money back into my savings and start getting financially free and being set up to take care of myself when I'm in latter 60s, 70s. But if you're in your 60s or 70s and you need help now to start making some more money, you can do this. I mean, anybody can do it. You just have to be willing to be coachable and learn those skills and implement them. And like I said, you can put as little as 2 hours a day in it and be coachable, and you can start earning an income. But you have to work at it. You have to be willing to be coachable, listen to the experts, and it's all online. So once you start learning and you're watching the modules, there's pre-made modules that you can rewind and watch them over and over again at your own pace. But there's also live trainings, just like this live video I'm doing right now. I mean, I can make a live training and show you exactly how to make some content, how to set up your YouTube channel, and excuse me, and and then you can get started. Well, that's how once you invest in the training, like I said, and you get it set up, everything set up, which takes maybe day, maybe 2 at the max, then you're ready to go. You start watching the trainings and you start implementing, you start making content, you start putting it out there. And then people are going, what are you doing? And you're going, oh, this is what I'm doing right now. Are you interested in learning this? Give them the information, they purchase, you've made $1,400. And that's how people are making an income out there. They're doing different things, but that's how they're doing it. They're getting out there, they're putting information, they're educating people, they're training people, they're coaching people. They may have other skills too. I mean, maybe whatever you did is in your career that you retired from and you really enjoyed it, but it was time for retirement. Now you've been retired a couple of years and you're like, I could use some secondary income. I really loved what I was doing. Then you can learn through this training how to still do that and put it out there on the internet, because you're at our age, in our later 50s, 60s, and 70s, we have experience that these young people don't have. And so people want to hear from experienced people. Like myself, I have a human resources background. And so I can help people, through the interview process. And I can help companies, know what they can and can't say during an interview when they're interviewing people. So I can train their HR person, on how to set up interviews and how to interview somebody. I can help the young people know what to put in the resume and what not to put and how to dress for an interview, all kinds of things. So I can do that through how-to videos and everything and through YouTube. So if you're interested in learning more about the training, the proven method training that I'm using right now, all you have to do is say yes in the comments, and I will get you free information. Free information on exactly what training I'm using to learn digital marketing and free myself up financially for the future and not have to be a burden to my family. And if you're interested and you want to know more, say yes in the comments. Say yes in the comments, and I'll get you free information on the training. It's a proven method. It's beginner friendly. And the great part is you only have to do 2 hours a day to implement it. And all you have to do is have Wi-Fi and a smartphone, and you can get started to the next day after you do your investment and everything and get everything that they have to set you up. Once you get it all set up, you can start earning and learning right then and there. And you can learn and earn at your own pace. So if you're interested, I'm Jenifer. I'm out here making content, putting it out on YouTube. Thank you for coming into my live stream here on YouTube. And if you want to ask me any questions, I'll be around to answer some questions. If you don't, then I'll be here again talking to you once more about what I'm doing to learn and earn. But don't be a burden to your family, because it's your responsibility to take care of yourself. And it's time. It's never too late to get started. But it is too late to get started when you when you totally run out of money or have to ask your kids for help. But it's better to start before that happens. So get started learning and earning, and I can get you free information. All you have to do is say yes in the comments, and I'll get it to you for free. Thank you again, and thank you for watching my live stream here on YouTube. I'm Jenifer at castyournet.com, www.castyournet, CASTURNET.com for more information, or just say yes in the comments and I'll get you the link. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.